to home. Stay tuned for the Splash Live. It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Thank you for being with us. I'm your host, Tyler Keefe, and always invite you to stay tuned alongside us for everything happening across Greater West Bloomfield on CivicCenterTV.com, as well as across social media, Facebook at Civic Center TV 15, and pretty much everywhere else. We are at Civic Center TV, including our YouTube page. Highly encourage you to subscribe for free to get notifications every time that we go live with programs such as this and other special programming and new videos each and every day throughout your work week. The Greater West Bloomfield business community celebrated what's hopefully going to be a very exciting 2025 year on Friday. We celebrated along with them at the Connect Senior Center for the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce's annual Installation of Board Officers ceremony and events. Now, it's an exciting time in Greater West Bloomfield with new attractions and new businesses all coming in across Greater West Bloomfield, leading to what believes will be a strong 2025 and an even more prosperous future.
We've been getting a different mix of businesses more recently, and I think that makes it a very attractive place for people to come. I know Marvin's is getting closer to coming in. That'll get especially the younger people excited, and we really would like to have younger people excited about West Bloomfield.
I think it's really interesting. So many times we hear we're a bedroom community, even though I think we're the best bedroom community there is. But when you look and you see such a vibrant and flourishing chamber, and you realize what Suzanne has built, you realize that we may be a bedroom community, but we are a flourishing business community as well.
Speaking with Debbie Binder, West Bloomfield Township Clerk, and before her, Jonathan Warshay, our new West Bloomfield Township Supervisor, as we get into the excitement of 2025 with all that happened in 2024, new businesses coming in, the new Apex apartment complex on Orchard Lake Road, the exciting news of Marvin's moving to Greater West Bloomfield, all coming together with what the Chamber does each and every day, being a resource for our local small business community to encourage their growth and their prosperity, but also being a resource for everyday citizens, connecting expertise of business leaders with the needs of you and I.
I think it's really important that the community understands that the board is here to serve the community and a variety from Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital representatives to small businesses. This is an opportunity for them to connect, perhaps do some business, or seek some advice about how they've achieved their leadership roles.
I would say the caliber of expertise that we have in our local business owners and the topics that they're able to come in and talk to, and seniors have been able to build relationships with those business owners or people that are employed, obviously, and I think those connections, and they start to build those relationships, and they'll come back for more and more information.
That all from our special coverage of the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce's Installation of Board Officers ceremony, an annual event that welcomes new members to the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce and swears in their leadership for 2025, but also fulfills a major goal of the Chamber, which is bringing people together for the common good of the community, as many leaders told me at that event Friday.
This particular chamber is very active. You know, we're here every year. You are here, I am here, and it's been a long time that we've both been doing this, but they're really a tight-knit group, and you know, we call it Greater West Bloomfield, but I believe it includes Kego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, and Orchard Lake businesses as well, and they support each other. It's nice to see.
When I come here and I see the groups that are here, I am reminded of what a strong business community we are, and then I also look around and see all of our groups within our community that are reflected here in attendance, and I'm reminded that how much our community supports our businesses and our community at large.
Every year I see your chamber grow, but I also see the same faces. And when you see people coming back and new people coming on, that really is evidence of leadership and fostering growth and just community, your dedication to each other.
Board President Stacy Zakovich will be serving as the leader of the Chamber's Board of Officers in 2025. Said that looking back on 2024, it was an incredible year for our local business community, but there's so much to be hopeful for in 2025, providing some of her signature positivity as we look toward a prosperous year in Greater West Bloomfield.
Over the past 2 decades, I have been within the community, worked within the community, and I've seen a lot of growth and a lot of things change, and it keeps getting better and better. The support from this West Bloomfield area is just truly not like anything else. And I love being part of the community, not only with Care Patrol of Oakland County, but the hospital and, the medical field. So in closing, I would like to say the best way to protect the future is to create it, by Abraham Lincoln. As we move forward to create this new chapter, let's create a filled future with opportunity and growth. Together, let our courage remain steadfast and a resolve unshakable sense of community than we've ever had before.
And it's all part of that installation of officers ceremony, but it really is a celebration of the community at large. Our businesses reflect so much on what our community means here in Greater West Bloomfield, all the different variety, the different levels of expertise, and the ways that our businesses and our community reach out to one another all throughout the year. This simply a celebration of that as we all come together at Connect Senior Center. You can view the full Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce Board of Installations event, including our special coverage as we speak, on demand on CivicCenterTV.com, as well as by staying tuned across our social media for even more updates from our business community all throughout the year. We have so many interesting people in the Greater West Bloomfield area of all different backgrounds, all different life experiences, and some of them are celebrating big anniversaries. Here to tell us more, joining us live is our very own Jake Schaff.
Hey, Tyler, good morning. Glad to be here. And you are absolutely right. Every person here in Greater West Bloomfield has their own story to tell. But William Felsenfeld's life has taken him on many different paths worthy of so many stories. And just last Monday, he celebrated 100 years on this planet. He spent most of his life as a teacher, helping several young, brilliant minds. But he was also known for his second career as an actor, model, and performer. It wasn't something he envisioned for himself at first, but a chance trip to a bar with a friend presented William with an opportunity that set him on a course for stardom.
He said at this bar they have 3 men that do lip sync to recordings. And on Monday nights, they have volunteers who were willing to do a lip sync recording of a novelty recording. So I took my records of Danny Kaye, who was a very popular actor at the time, and performed one of the records that I had learned to do when I was home. And I won $10. There happened to be an agent in the audience, and he approached me and said, "How would you like to do this as a living?" I went into this one bar, and the boss liked me so well, and the audience responded very favorably. So I learned more recordings and got a contract for 7 weeks with 2 7-week options.
Eventually, William made the jump to being a character model, appearing in several ad campaigns over the years in the greater Detroit area, including a very prominent campaign for a local news station.
For the next 40 years, I was a character model for almost every professional photographer in the city of Detroit. In 1966, Channel 2 ran a campaign called Watch Channel 2, the Watchable Channel. And I was Mr. Watchable. I wore a bowler hat. My picture was flashed on the air many times between programs. And also my picture was on every bus in Detroit and even on the billboards. It sort of made me famous. Everybody thought that I was making a fortune on that, but I didn't. I think they paid me $1,500. And then after the campaign, my agent called and said, you know what, you should have made a lot more on that.
Even though he's retired, William still gets paid residuals for his work, as he was a member of the Screen Actors Guild, appearing as an extra in several movies and working alongside actors like Al Pacino and Danny DeVito, which, working on bigger productions like these, has led him to some very humorous situations.
I did an episode of Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack, although he wasn't in the episode that I was in. And for this, we went to Columbus, Ohio, and filmed it in a cemetery there because it involved a funeral. And I played the part of a priest. And interestingly enough, one of the funniest things that happened at breakfast in the hotel before we went to the location, the waitress asked me, "Would you like a menu, Father?" Because I was wearing the white collar that I got from a friend of mine who was a priest. And surely I had a chuckle about that. That was really funny.
Of course, as was mentioned earlier, performing was not William's first love. He did have a long career as a teacher, but even before then, as a young boy who developed an interest in airplanes, William was determined to become a pilot and to help serve his country in any way he could.
My parents took my sister, who was a year and a half older than I, to a small suburban airport. And I remember seeing these airplanes with two wings and open cockpits. And from then on, I had this avid interest in airplanes, and I always wanted to be a pilot. I made myself available for the draft as soon as I turned 18. And I immediately tried to get into the Air Force, but one of the requirements was to have at least 2 years of college. But in March of '43, they waived that requirement, and I immediately signed up to go into the Army Air Corps. I did not get into action. I was not in danger at any time, except during my training, which at times could have been very dangerous.
We do, of course, thank William for his service. Life can take many different twists and turns, and for the past 100 years, William has taken on every new adventure with joy and excitement, and had this to say when thinking back on what he's enjoyed the most from everything he's done.
Well, I've met some wonderful people in the advertising business, and I really can't tell you how wonderful that was. They were the most marvelous people because we shared this interest and this profession, and we respected each other. There was no jealousy involved in anything. It was just the most satisfying thing that I've ever done. and I wish I could do it today.
Would you do it all over again?
Yes, I would.
Living life with no regrets. It was an honor to get to speak with someone with such a vibrant life like William. A happy belated birthday to him, and a thank you for sharing his incredible accomplishments. Back to you, Tyler.
And Jake Schaff with us live. We think so much about these different people we talk about and we talk to across the community that have so many different life experiences. William Felsenfeld, one of those people that kind of takes a little bit of everything into his life experience from all different corners of our community. A great story on a wonderful man who is now celebrating 100 years with us and living right here in the Greater West Bloomfield community. Congratulations to William and happy birthday, happy belated birthday as well from our entire team. Close to home at West Bloomfield High School, a student is being honored for their leadership and their patriotism as Ashley Frankfurt was recognized with the Good Citizen Award by the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution. One of just 15 kids across our local area who received this award recently at the Bloomfield Township Public Library, selected for this honor by her teachers and her peers for leadership, for community service, and of course for patriotism as well. A big honor for Ashley, and congratulations to her. You can learn even more about the work she does with DAR through West Bloomfield High School, and of course give her your due congratulations as we speak on the Facebook page of the West Bloomfield School District at West Bloomfield Schools. Congratulations, Ashley, as you continue to be an inspiration for your classmates on how to get involved in the community and truly celebrate what makes Greater West Bloomfield so great. More inspiring stories over at West Bloomfield High School as the group West Bloomfield Has a Heart came together to tell the story of a young man named Alex Bowerson who survived cardiac arrest as a student athlete years ago. The now 20-year-old man was able to speak to the audience of high school students, teachers, and more about the importance of keeping up to date with your health and making sure you're getting those regular checkups, no matter how young and vibrant that you may feel. Cardiac arrest can affect anybody at any time. As they were able to speak to Alex at West Bloomfield High School, they also were able to promote one of their upcoming ways that you can keep up to date on your health. A student heart check event will be happening through West Bloomfield Has a Heart on February 1st, and they're currently taking applications for you to join them on that day to get your hearts checked. More information can be found on West Bloomfield Has a Heart on WBHasAHeart.com. It's WBHasHeart.com, or of course you can always learn more about things happening in the West Bloomfield School District on Facebook at West Bloomfield Schools. Plenty more coming up on The Splash Live. We hope that you'll stick with us. Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
I'm Gina Gregory, president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. I'm excited that Civic Center TV has reached 1 million views on YouTube. Congratulations. That's just terrific. We appreciate everything Civic Center does for the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society and the community. For us, they promote and highlight our events. It's awesome to have them available 24/7 on YouTube. I'm Gina Gregory and proud to be one in a million.
1 in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy, and if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
You're watching a production of Civic Center TV. Find our on-demand programming on civiccentertv.com and follow us at Civic Center TV on Twitter and Civic Center TV 15 on Facebook. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home. And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Welcome back. I'm your host, Tyler Kieft, thanking you for joining us each and every day for the latest happening across West Bloomfield, Keego Harbor, Orchard Lake, and of course, Sylvan Lake as well. The Detroit Red Wings are used to celebrating championships and winning on the ice, but now they're also celebrating great victories in the classroom, including close to home right here in the Greater West Bloomfield area. As Colleen Mestog, the Ice Center and Information and Tech Specialist at Doherty Elementary School, was one of a select group of educators across the local area called Best in Class by the Detroit Red Wings, enjoying a fun night out at Little Caesars Arena and a $12,500 grant as well, courtesy of Meyer and Little Caesars, as well as the Detroit Red Wings. She joins us now on the Splash Live to talk more about this honor. Colleen, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Glad to have you on, and congratulations, first of all, on this honor from the Detroit Red Wings. When you first heard the news, what was your initial reaction?
I was honored and honestly just surprised. I think it's so great when organizations honor and recognize teachers. I think everyone in education knows it's kind of a thankless job. So it's just amazing when an organization takes time to celebrate us. It was really special.
The program honors 75 teachers throughout the state during 3 different award ceremonies. That was one of those across the state that's honoring these educators. And when you think about the Detroit Red Wings and their honoring of these educators, as someone that's on the front lines of this every day and sees the work that our teachers, that our tech specialists, that our all the other officials throughout our classrooms and throughout our schools are putting in, what does this then mean to you kind of on top of that, being that you're honored amongst some of the best of really talented people that are educating our kids every day?
Yeah, I think when you looked around the room, there were teachers in all different areas from around the state. And when I think about the colleagues I work with on a day-to-day basis, every single one of us should be honored. We in West Bloomfield just have the best of the best. I've been teaching almost 20 years. I've been in neighboring district and now in West Bloomfield, and I've been a classroom teacher and now a teacher librarian. And education is the single most important job I feel out there. And so I really think that we need to honor and celebrate and recognize all of the educators in our lives and our children's lives. We wouldn't be here without them. So I really think about all the teachers who've inspired me in my career, the teachers that I had as a child, professors, and just the colleagues that I learn next to on a day-to-day basis that just make me a better professional. So I really think holistically about everybody and just kind of the shoulders who I stand on, and I hope to lift all of those up as well.
Colleen Mestog is with us, one of 75 educators across the state who's been nominated as Best in Class by the Detroit Red Wings and received some grants and some honors from them as well in one of their 3 ceremonies for educators all across the state. She's also their Information and Tech Specialist and Ice Center Director at Doherty Elementary School, joining us on the Splash Live. And Colleen, as you said, you've been working in this industry for about 20 years now, and you've been able to work with so many different excellent educators and learn so much along the way. What are some of those key elements of what you've learned that you've been able to apply in your educational profession that maybe set you up for an award like this?
Well, I think being a teacher librarian and being in this kind of niche area of the school is an amazing opportunity because alongside, of course, I'm running a fully circulating library, which is a huge undertaking in and of itself. But also as a teacher librarian, I'm teaching students every hour, every day. So I have the opportunity to teach and learn alongside approximately 500 students every single week. And so, yes, of course, they're checking out books. And of course, we're engaging in amazing stories and literacy lessons. But I'm truly able to inspire readers. And when we think about what is the most important thing that I think educators teach, it's reading. Our goal is to create lifelong readers. So the fact that I can inspire and impact an entire school community and also a school community that I live in as well. So this is a real amazing opportunity to live and teach and work in the community that I reside in. I'm just really invested in West Bloomfield. I have 2 girls who are in the district. My husband's a teacher in a neighboring district. And so, I come from a family of teachers. I'm a part of a family of teachers. And I just think it's an amazing opportunity to impact an entire school community. And I also hope that I'm impacting families as well. I hope that I'm giving strategies and tools that parents can kind of put and caregivers can put in their back pocket to inspire their young readers at home.
One of the best in classes in one of the best school districts in the state of Michigan, right here in the West Bloomfield School District. Colleen Mestog joins us from Doherty Elementary on today's edition of the Splash Live, named one of 75 teachers across the state in the Detroit Red Wings 2025 Best in Class nominations as well. And you know, you talk about the importance of education and in particular reading in the classroom for our kids, for their not only current education, but education all throughout their life. And today we have so much of a blend of traditional technologies like reading and books and that sense, and also modern technologies, whether it's computers or tablets or AI and VR and so much else that's coming into play today. So as an educator that's primarily focused in that area, how do you start to blend those two together to keep the kids educationally sound with all the traditional elements, but also keep them up to date with all these new technologies that will ultimately be really helpful for them for years to come?
Absolutely. That's a great question, Jake. I think when we think about reading, we have to think about access to books, and we have to think about there's different access points for students. So, of course, paper books are not going anywhere, and that's a good thing because we know the brain research shows how important it is for us to hold that book and have that relationship with the text. But of course, we can have that relationship on a Kindle and an e-reader and ebooks, and listening to audiobooks count as well. So there's a lot of different access points that all count for kind of quote unquote reading. And when we think about the technology piece, I think in our department across the district, we're really working on teaching digital citizenship. So we're helping students understand, how do we have this balance with screens and with text? And how do we understand how these screens are working and how to limit some of that screen time that can be so addicting for students, and we're guilty as grown-ups as well. So I think it's important that we're teaching them how to stay safe online, how to use these resources appropriately. Of course, there's wonderful research online, and as mentioned, ebooks and other websites that are educational. But we also have to be really mindful about creating that healthy balance in our media life.
And you, of course, were honored by the Detroit Red Wings as one of their best in class. You were able to go to Little Caesars Arena with some other educators from across the local area, across the state, as they received their honor as well, and meet some of the Red Wing legends, including Justin Abdelkader. Here's a picture of Colleen at Little Caesars Arena on game night. Got 2 tickets to go enjoy a Red Wings game, a pre-game meal, some Red Wings apparel, some gift cards as well, and of course, the great honor as one of the best in class. You also had a chance to interact with Justin Abdelkader, who's from Michigan, a Red Wings legend in his own right. You invited him out to Doherty Elementary School. Any update on that? Are we expecting Abby to be out there anytime soon?
Well, hopefully, yes. He was wonderful. We got to meet his family. He talked about the importance of educators in his life. He talked about how even when he was, on the team for the Red Wings, how he was still working on getting his degree from Michigan State as well. So he was a real great inspiration and just a really down-to-earth guy. So we did talk about his picture book that he published a few years ago. And he actually came to Doherty a while back before I was working in the district. And so we'd love to have him back in the library soon. So hopefully we'll connect. And I can't make any promises, but hopefully we can make that happen, hopefully next year.
And Colleen, lastly, as you reflect on receiving this honor, what do you believe is amongst the many reasons why you may have been the focal point of this from the West Bloomfield School District? And what do you hope that you can do to then inspire other educators coming up in the district to have a similar impact that you've been able to have at Doherty and beyond?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. Because again, I think there's so many people who fit the bill and who could have been honored right alongside me. But I do think that I'm a very passionate educator. I'm a lifelong learner. I really believe that there's always more to learn in our profession, and I'm always looking to enhance the educational experience for our students, and also try to encourage professional learning among staff and families. So I'm involved in a ton of committees across the district. I'm involved in a lot of extracurricular things in our school. I run a Book of the Month club. We're working on kind of reading a book every month as a school community and talking about that. We actually meet tomorrow after school. So there's a lot of ways to be invested and to impact the community, whether it's within the walls of the school or outside of within the community as well.
Well, Colleen, we want to congratulate you once again for being one of the 75 educators across the great state of Michigan and its 80-plus counties named Best in Class by the Detroit Red Wings, and hope that there'll be many more inspiring stories from educators like you and your colleagues at Doherty and beyond for years to come. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much, Jake. I appreciate it.
Glad to have you on and glad to have you in our classrooms here in the Greater West Bloomfield community. Colleen Mestog from West Bloomfield's Doherty Elementary School. You can give her even more of your own congratulations on their Facebook page as we speak, facebook.com/West Bloomfield Schools. Winter can be a really complicated time out on the roads. I don't need to tell you that. It's pretty obvious if you've been commuting throughout our community in recent weeks during what is a harsh and a varying Michigan winter. So, how does our local road commission for Oakland County keep our roads open and safe for drivers during some of the ups and downs of Michigan winter? Here with more insight is Craig Bryson, the Senior Communications Manager with the Road Commission for Oakland County. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Tyler. Good to be here.
Glad to have you on, and a really interesting time because winter in Michigan, sometimes you're in the 30s and the 40s and it feels like it's the middle of summer. Then the next day it can be 0 degrees, -20 with the wind chills, and the roads are looking absolutely awful, and people are thinking, what gives? They knew the snow was coming in. Why is this road not clear? So take us through a little bit of how the varying temperatures in particular affect how roads are tended to in Oakland County.
Well, the reality is that salt only works at certain temperatures. It used to be that below about 10 degrees, it would really do nothing. The good news is we now add liquid brine to the salt, and that allows the salt to work at a little bit lower temperature. So we will continue to do it down into the single digits, though, 5 degrees or lower, it really does pretty much nothing at all. So when we have those temperatures, as we have had recently, there is very little we can do to prevent ice from forming on the roads. And the real danger is if we put down salt in those kind of temperatures and it works a little bit and creates water, that water quickly refreezes and causes more ice. So we want to be cautious about that too. In extreme cases where we have very dangerous situations, we can put down some sand just to add traction to the road. We really don't want to do that on paved roads because most of our paved roads have storm sewers, and that sand then gets washed off the road eventually and clogs the storm sewers, which can cause flooding in the spring. So we don't want to solve one problem by creating another problem, but in extreme cases where it's a real safety issue, we will do that.
And so ultimately all eyes then go on to your team when you have situations like that, because it's a tough scenario, as you just described, to have that careful balance between the challenges of Mother Nature and the resources that you have available to combat some of those challenges. So when you have, like we had, the recent extreme cold spell, it also had quite a significant amount of snow on top of that. What does the Road Commission then do to make sure that our roads can be safely navigated for people that are going on their busy daily commutes and are traveling through some of the most heavily trafficked roads in the entire state?
Yeah, great point. And what we can do once we're into those low single digits or 0 and below, really all we can do is blade the snow off the road. That means using the plow that is underneath the truck between the axles, the underbelly plow, and just push that snow off the road. That does nothing to eliminate the ice, but at least it gets the snow off the road and prevents it from becoming hard pack in the coming days. That is a dangerous situation, and we cannot do anything to melt the ice at that point, and that's why we try to remind motorists as much as we can during those times to slow down, presume there may be some slippery spots. If you don't have to go out, stay in, but you've got to use a lot of caution as a driver in those times because there simply is not much else we can do.
And we're working on getting more of an inside look on the hyper-local angle of this. What do our cities like Orchard Lake and Keagle Harbor and Sylvan Lake do on their individual city roads? Because there is that dichotomy between our local municipalities and the Road Commission for Oakland County. Townships are fully covered by the county. Cities have their own individual roads. So when you have situations like this, how do our individual communities like West Bloomfield, Keagle Harbor, Orchard Lake, and Sylvan Lake then get assistance from the Road Commission as they have a daunting task of their own just within their own city limits?
Right. We really cannot assist them very much. They're for the most part, they're very capable on their own. State law prohibits us from spending our money on roads that are not under our jurisdiction. So we cannot go, for example, onto city streets and help them plow. Oftentimes, though, they have, because of the small geographic size of the cities, they're able to cover their streets more quickly than we can cover the expanse of 900 square miles of the county. So they do a good job of doing what they can. Again, when the temperatures are that low, there's nothing the cities can do really either about the formation of ice, other than, as we do, occasionally put down sand and wait for the temperatures to rise.
And so Craig Bryson from the Road Commission for Oakland County is with us on the Splash Live as we talk about navigating the road safety during the harsh Michigan winters that have a lot of variation from warm to cold, from moderately cold and on par with temperature expectations for a Michigan winter to extreme cold like we've had recently here as we kicked off 2025. And so as we anticipate some extreme cold temperatures or the potential for that affects our roads as you've described with salt and brine and other solutions, in some cases not being effective tools to use after the fact. How does prevention come into play from the Road Commission's perspective, getting out ahead of some of these weather events?
Well, we do have some tools we can do that. We do use liquid brine to pre-treat some of the roads if we know there's a snow coming. The challenge is if the temperatures have risen and it comes in as a freezing rain, we don't do the pre-treating because the rain will just wash the brine off the roads. But spreading liquid brine on the roads, particularly the most likely places to ice first, such as the overpasses, ramps, that kind of thing, can slow down the formation of ice when the snow does start. Again, we don't do that when the temperatures are, in single digits or lower. It loses its effectiveness, but it's a great tool to use when we know a snowfall is coming. And one of the real challenges this winter has been, we haven't had a whole lot of significant accumulating snow, but we've had just consistent day after day after day of light snow that's just enough to potentially make the roads slippery, and we have to be out. As a result, we've used more salt at this point of the year this year than in any of the last 3 years. Just because of all these constant light snows that we get.
And still early on in the winter season beyond that too, with that being the case. So expect more of this coming up in the future. And with that in mind, Craig, as we anticipate these sorts of events not being uncommon in our local area throughout the rest of this winter, when we have these situations come up where we know the Road Commission is going to be very busy with their preventative efforts, certainly with their response efforts and communication, what steps can the community take to be extra helpful in some of the areas that maybe the Road Commission has to put down lower on their list of priorities or simply not be able to cover until the roads are situated?
Well, absolutely. The first thing you can do is, if you don't have to go out in those conditions, don't. Certainly many of us do have to go out, so we certainly understand that. If you do go out and you're driving, please slow down and use caution. Please don't crowd the plow. Give them the room they need to plow the roads. On residential streets, if you can avoid parking on the street, that'll help when we do get to those streets. So we don't do a lot of plowing on subdivision streets, typically, unless there's at least 4 to 6 inches of snow. But when we do get in there, if you're able to move your car off the road, that is helpful. Other than that, please just use caution during the winter. We want you to get home safely. The last thing we want is to see any crashes.
And that's why it's all the more reason for you to be regularly checking rcocweb.org. And you can also follow them on RoadCom on Facebook, RoadComm. Craig, thank you so much for your time today, as always.
Thank you.
Craig Bryson from the Road Commission for Oakland County. Plenty more to hear from him and their team all throughout the winter. But good to get some insight as well as we reflect on some recent extreme cold spells, a lot of snow and ice on the roads as well. So always good to get a little bit more of an inside look at what goes on so you know kind of what you're in for when the next snowstorm is forecast, and you can be even better prepared. Again, their website, rcocweb.org. That will give you alerts, potential road closures, construction updates, and so much more affecting us here in Greater West Bloomfield and throughout Oakland County. As we experience the extreme cold, the snow, the wind outside, you may not want to do much exploring nature during the Michigan winter, but our friends at West Bloomfield Parks are giving you and your kids and your families opportunities to learn more about our vast local wildlife from inside the comfortable confines of the Recreation Activity Center. Reporter Kevin McIntosh has the story.
Here in West Bloomfield, the Nature Explorer Discovery Days are inviting families to step into the wonders of the natural world. From live reptiles to outdoor play, it's all about learning, exploring, and having fun. Let's take a closer look at what makes this program a local favorite.
It was listed as one of the activities online when you look what to do with toddlers, and it was open all day, so we decided to come between naps.
Nature Explorers Discovery Days, hosted by West Bloomfield Parks, offers families a chance to immerse themselves in Michigan's natural beauty. The self-guided program features live reptiles and amphibians, hands-on crafts, and so much more.
So we have this lovely nature room space and an outdoor natural play area. We wanted to make sure that the community had an opportunity to check out these areas that are available to them every week. So that's why we adapted our open hours into Discovery Days, so that way it would be open more frequently.
Discovery Days offers a unique way for families to connect with nature. We heard from a patron whose little one is especially fascinated by one of the attractions.
So far it's the birds. I think she just likes touching them too, especially, but just all of it, to be honest. She's interactive with the puzzles and very fascinated by the turtle as well.
Children and families can explore at their own pace, whether they're crafting, observing live animals, or discovering the wonders of the natural play area. It's an experience that's both fun and educational, inspiring curiosity and fostering a connection with the environment.
It gives everyone an opportunity to actually see one another, because not every time in the winter you don't get to really see everyone. So rooms like this offer an opportunity for the community to get together and to learn a little bit about nature while having fun.
This free program runs on Wednesdays, making it accessible for all families in Greater West Bloomfield. Visitors say it's a wonderful opportunity to bond, learn, and appreciate the beauty of nature together.
I think it's really cool. I did not know we had half of these animals, to be honest. Yeah, I like that they have different types of crafts and it's interactive for children, and I think it's kind of cool for my age as well.
From exploring live animals to hands-on crafts, the Nature Explorers Discovery Days has something for everyone. It's a chance to connect with nature and each other right here in our own backyard. From WB Parks, I'm Kevin McIntosh, Civic Center TV.
An exciting room over there at the West Bloomfield Parks. Their Discovery Days in the Nature Room running all throughout the winter season. You can get even more information on that, what you can learn when they're happening, and get on over there on wbparks.org. Plus, so much more going on throughout the local community. Nature education, fun events. We know their daddy-daughter dance is coming up as well. So follow them on Facebook at WBParks for even more information. And while you're at it, learn more about all the other fun activities that are ongoing across the community by sticking with us on our social media. Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. You can also find us on X, on Instagram, and subscribe to our channel for free on YouTube at Civic Center TV. That's where you'll find a lot of these different stories about fun, recurring events and different amenities available to you at the library, at West Bloomfield Parks, through the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce, and special events like United We Walk and the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce Board of Officers installation. CivicCenterTV.com, also a great place to go for more of that. As we head toward the end of January, we head straight into February, which is Black History Month, and one of the great events that gets together with local businesses every year through the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force is the annual Black Expo. And joining us on the program, we recently had Jake Schaff speak to Denise Moore from the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force to give you a preview of all that's coming up at the fun and activities of this year's Black Expo in West Bloomfield.
And here to tell us more about this year's Expo, we have a member of the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force, Denise Moore, joining us right now on the Splash Live. Denise, good morning.
Good morning, and thank you so much for inviting me.
Absolutely. Love to have you with us. Love to be hearing about this upcoming event right here in West Bloomfield. And I want to get into this a little bit. What inspired the creation of the Black Expo, and how have you seen it evolve over the years?
It actually started, and I'm not a founding member. I think Sherry Ann Winter, along with now current trustee Vincent Kirkwood, were some of the founders of it. So, and we all miss Sherry Ann. Just wanted to put that out there so very much. This was like her baby. So they wanted to bring together, a sense of community around entrepreneurs and small businesses within the West Bloomfield area. So that's kind of like how it started, and evolving every year. Every year it's getting bigger and better.
That's great. And you're absolutely right. It is great to see all the work that Sherry Ann has done to help make this event what it is. And obviously, may she rest in peace. And how does the Black Expo contribute to fostering diversity and inclusion right here in West Bloomfield?
Well, you know what? I think the main vision of the Diversity Task Force is just that, bringing together a diverse group of people from all races, religions, and ethnicities and cultures to come together for the common good of the community. And so with that being, the highlight for Black Expo, now, featuring Black businesses within the community to let them know that we're here, whether it's small, in-home, or a brick and mortar, that we're here to serve with quality and excellence.
That's right. That's all you could ask for. And that is exactly what these businesses are going to provide. And could you share some examples of some vendors and some organizations that we might be seeing at this year's event?
Absolutely. And like I said, we're growing so well. So I think this year we have over 70 vendors ranging from jewelry, arts and crafts, music, and most importantly, food. So yeah, got a number of vendors coming out to support. And so we're looking for the community to come out and support us as well on February 26th.
And this all sounds amazing. Can't wait to see how it all turns out. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, we have Denise Moore from the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force joining us right now on the Splash Live to talk about the upcoming 2025 Black Expo that will be taking place in February. And the Diversity Task Force works year-round to promote and celebrate cultural, ethnic, and religious diversity in the community. What are some ways that they help to do that?
That's a very good question, because it's not just about one and done. It's about the sense of culture and religions and ethnicities across the board. So we may have like Meet Your Neighbor, we'll present that, and that brings out, all different types of families from all different types of backgrounds. And then we have Juneteenth, that'll be coming up in June. So different opportunities for neighbors to get together from all walks of life within the West Bloomfield community. We're so very honored to put these things on every year so we can get to know each other, learn from each other, and grow our community with that unity. That's I think that's the biggest thing, is bringing together like-minded people, families across the West Bloomfield area, the greater West Bloomfield area as well, and to just have that unity, that sense of family and belonging. And so that's very important to the Diversity Task Force. And so we're just proud to be able to do something like this on an annual basis and year-round.
And yeah, I've had the chance to attend some of those events like Juneteenth and the Meet Your Neighbors event, like you mentioned, and you absolutely see all this camaraderie and these connections start to form, and it's always so great to see. And how can West Bloomfield residents get involved with the Diversity Task Force if they want to become a part of the team themselves?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question. It's under West Bloomfield Park. So you would go under, I think it's wbparks.org. And we're always looking for sweet, loving families to come and join us from all walks of life, from all backgrounds, because that's the whole point, is to bring our Chaldean community, our Asian community, our Black community, whatever ethnicity or nationality you are. We want to see you come out and join the force and just have a little fun, get to know each other, and bring wonderful programs through for the community at large. So yeah, wbparks.org.
Denise, I love hearing about your passion for something like this. It's radiating through the screen. And I want to thank you so much for your time here on The Splash. One more quick question before we let you go. What are some long-term hopes for the Black Expo and the Diversity Task Force's efforts right here in the West Bloomfield community?
Wonderful question again, because our goal is to obviously grow it. I mean, I think they had like less than 10 vendors with the inception. And now we're like over 70, I want to say 75 vendors this year. So definitely to grow it, to bring different ethnicities and cultures, and just to make a rich environment for us and our children to come up in a very open and diverse, culturally open opportunity to just become unified and to be kind to each other. And I mean, that's what it takes. That's why we're here, to bring forth that diversity and to have the opportunity for us to just grow together as a community.
That's exactly right. Denise, thank you so much for your time today here on The Splash Live.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So great to talk to the West Bloomfield Diversity Task Force as they get ready for arguably their biggest event of the year, the Black Expo, happening at the end of February. More information on that can be found on wbparks.org and on Facebook at WBParks as they get ready for an event that, as Denise had said, gets bigger each and every year. I was out at the Orchard Mall for it last year, and it was a raucous event. There were so many people packing into the mall, enjoying getting to converse with these different business owners and get to know some of the people from across Greater West Bloomfield who are making an impact on themselves and our community each and every day. We're excited for that in late February. We're also excited for an early February bonanza that helps support our kids in the classroom each and every day. It's the biggest fundraiser of the year for the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation, Casino Night, coming up next week, Friday, February 7th, at Glen Oaks Golf Club in Farmington Hills. Our Kevin McIntosh had a chance to speak with one of the Educational Foundation's many dedicated volunteers to learn more about this year's festivities.
Join us right here live on The Splash to give a little bit more details about Casino Night. We have a volunteer from the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation, Julie Conkey. Thank you for being here, Julie.
Thanks, Kevin. Nice to see you.
Absolutely. We love to be here. Love to have you here, I should say, first and foremost. So we're talking about Casino Night, hosted by West Bloomfield Educational Foundation. This is February 7th. Just first and foremost, just describe your role with this event overall.
So with this event, I am one of the, I suppose, support staff in a way, right? So there's a huge group of parents that organize this entire event. They put a ton of work into it all year round. Mm-hmm. And then they are gathering volunteers throughout the parents of the children in the educational system. And I volunteer as a blackjack dealer, which is just a riot to do.
I bet it is. Okay, we got to dive into that. I can't wait. So with that being said, you're a volunteer. Yeah. You're their support system. How long have you been involved with WBEF and this Casino Night?
This will be my third year doing it this year. I did it 2 years ago was my first, and I'll admit I was a little nervous to do it. I play blackjack. I love blackjack, but I didn't know that I could deal it. But they have everyone there to train you how to do it. They have all the information that you need to get you ready for that night is offered, and it's so much fun, and it's so easy to do.
Yes, yes. Playing blackjack is so much fun until you're on the losing end of it, whether that's money involved or not. But I digress, whole different subject. So a few years you've been involved with the event and with the foundation. What is your motivation to continuously stay involved with the event and the foundation?
It's all about the kids, and it's all about the education. I grew up in a family of educators, and teachers just are sorely underfunded, and so many times they're pulling so much money out of their pockets and helping to support their classroom. And this event supports those teachers' grant, and a lot of those these dollars go towards teachers that are bringing a STEAM program into their classroom, which balances science and tech and English and arts and math all in one. And it's so important for the development of the kids and their education. So if there's some way that we can help support the teachers, where they don't have to take the dollars out of their pockets to teach our children, then I'm all in.
That's a very honorable approach, first and foremost, Julie, considering the fact that we all may have our opinions about the way things are operating or the lack of resources or whatever the case may be, but to actually be involved in helping, and that's a whole nother subject. So we appreciate you and thank you for your time. And to volunteer your time says a whole lot more. I want to kind of go into this atmosphere, right? For myself or anyone else who may have never been there, just describe the atmosphere exactly and what you do in that atmosphere. I know you said blackjack dealer. Just paint that whole scene for us.
Well, it's super exciting. Like I said, I started a couple years ago. I wasn't sure what to expect either. But it's all the parents from the community. They're friends. I mean, we have people, I live in Sylvan Lake, Michigan, and we have lots of friends that come to the event, even if they aren't parents of students right now. And it's just like walking into a casino. It's just electric. But besides just the casino, there's dancing, there's, food, and there's a bar, and there's a silent auction. There's a ticketed auction, right? So you can win tickets while you're playing. And you can take those tickets over and win amazing prizes. I've won some really cool things over the last couple of years.
Nice.
And last year, I actually was lucky enough to win the 50-50. So that was really nice. But, yeah, it's electric and it's fun. The first year that I did it was surprising. I had volunteered for a 2-hour slot, I think, and ended up just dealing the whole night because I just loved it. It was so much fun. And they kept coming over and saying, you can stop. I was like, no, I'm good. I'll keep doing this. And it was just a great time. And then last year was so much fun because so many of the people that played blackjack with me all night the year before came back and they were excited to see me there again. And we had another fun night. So I just have given up on taking a 2-hour slot and I take the entire night and we just have a riot. But if you are willing and able to come volunteer for this, we just need an hour or two of your time. You can work a ticket booth, you can help with the cleanup at the end of the night, you can help with the setup at the beginning, or you can learn how to deal blackjack or play craps and things like that. So, I mean, it's an experience that everyone should have. It's great.
Nice, interesting. You got me hyped just thinking about it and the atmosphere. And like we said, the fact that you're volunteering your time for this, and you went literally above and beyond the time that you were even, that you agreed to, saying, I'm enjoying myself so much. We're doing this for a great cause. I don't mind spending the rest of the evening here. So that speaks a lot to you. And with us right here, live on the Splash, volunteer from the West Bloomfield Educational Foundation's Casino Night, Julie Conkey, talking about the benefits, the joys of volunteering for such a community event like this. Now, you mentioned a few things, right? People showing up, supporting who may not even have kids and things of that nature. You've done this for a few years. So that means you've heard things in the community, you heard things on the inside as it's going on. Can you just talk about how the community has overall responded to this event during and outside of this event from your perspective?
I think it's been huge. I mean, the people who put this together, the parents that volunteer to put this all together are just amazing. And it's not only the people that show up there that night, but it's all the local businesses have donated to the cause. So you will be floored if you come, and I'm expecting you at my table, Kevin. Okay. But you will be floored when you come to see how many businesses have donated baskets full of goodies and all sorts of things that can be either won with the raffle with the tickets or the silent auction also. You'd just be amazed at the community, the outpouring of donations that come in for this, because education is so important for our kids. They're the beginning of it all, right? So, but then again, just the atmosphere when you walk in, but even the week or so before, everyone in the neighborhood's talking about it. Exactly. Everybody's texting back and forth saying, hey, you're going to casino night? Everybody going? It is a really fun night out, and it's right in your backyard, so you don't have to go all the way downtown or anything like that. It's right in your backyard, and it supports families in this area and teachers in this area. So it's amazing.
Sweet, Julie.
Oh, there's the crew. This is the dream team. You have to see this.
Nice. If you're watching on Civic Center TV, if you're watching on Civic Center TV right now, you can see the photo of the volunteers, the staff that make the casino night possible for us all. We love to see those smiling, beautiful faces as well. Random question that just came to me. Are we talking about real money, real casino chips at these dealership tables?
So when you purchase your tickets, you get a certain number of chips and there's kind of a, an amount that you get. I honestly don't remember exactly what it is off the top of my head. But then, yes, you take those to the tables and you play with them. Ooh. And if you come play at my table and you don't know how to play blackjack, which happens all the time, I'll help you learn. Ooh. So we'll teach you how to do it. Nobody has to come there being a gambling expert or anything like that. We will teach you how to do it. And we've had so much fun doing that over the last couple of years. It's just saying, hey,
all the fun there on February 7th, Glen Oaks Country Club in Farmington Hills. More information on Casino Night and as well as ways you can purchase your tickets on WBEF.org. And stay tuned for our coverage as well of one of the most fun nights of the entire year that goes toward such an excellent cause, helping our teachers provide new different trinkets and interesting programs that help provide an even more robust education in each and every one of our classrooms across Greater West Bloomfield. Congratulations to them on what will hopefully be another incredible event in 2025. And encourage you, if you're looking for something to do in a couple of weeks on Friday night, could not be a more fun time with some of our educators, our community leaders, and of course, your neighbors and friends out at Casino Night. That is our time for today's edition of the Splash Live. Highly encourage you to follow along each and every day, CivicCenterTV.com, as well as across social media, Facebook at Civic Center TV 15, X and Instagram at Civic Center TV, and subscribe for free to our YouTube channel at Civic Center TV. For our entire team, Calvin Brown, Jake Schaff, and Kevin McIntosh, I'm Tyler Kieft. Thank you for tuning in to the Splash Live.